Hello everybody, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Necron Heavy Destroyer. Right, after a lot of playtesting, I found the best way to use these guys effectively, okay? And they were in my video for one of the top nerfed units, and I still stand by that, and I know I get a lot of hate for it, but these are not as good as they used to be. These are the best option we have in the index right now, that we have against tanks. They beat Doomsday Arcs, and it's the only thing we have to rely on. The biggest problem with these, they're extremely expensive, and you can only take them in units of 3, up to units of 3. Yeah, the destroyers, the normal destroyers, you can take them into units of 9. If you take these units of 9, it'd be awesome. You can't. Right, let's get into how to use these. As you know, the best way to use these is to shoot them at tanks and stuff with lots of wounds. Right, that's just the basic strategy of them. If you're shooting at these at models of 1 wounds, well, slap. Okay. Right, the key to using these effectively, it has to be before the game starts. You cannot just chuck these on the table and expect to win because they'll get wiped out. The best way to win with these is to get them on the board last, but know where they're going first, if that makes sense. You pick your part of the deployment zone where you want them. And if you know, well, you should be able to predict where your opponents will put tanks. In like all my matches, isn't like, say, 2-3% you've actually put a tank somewhere I didn't expect them to. So if you should be able to predict where the tanks are going to go. Okay, they're going to go to the most optimal place, they can hit things and have the most cover saves and so on. Just use your mind. Okay, you can probably put his last cans on last, but if you use your mind, you should be able to tell where they go before you even deploy anything. Okay? If you're unable to do that, that's practice for you. Every time you play a game, think, he's going to put that there, that there, that there. And normally I can get it dead on. I get a few units out of place by a little bit, but that's just crappy units, it doesn't really matter. You know, you just gotta check those there. Okay, that's what you want to try and learn how to do, is predict where things are going to go, the nasty stuff. Okay? Alright, so let's say you can do that now. You've learned that, say you're awesome, yeah, I can do that. What you want to do, and say this is in your the best place for these is in the center if you've got the ability, but don't be afraid to put them off center, like to the right, to the left. And I'd highly recommend, if you can, keep all of them together. And in all my games I've played, the sweet number of heavy destroyers to actually be effective is 6. 3 is just not enough, and 9 is too much because they're too expensive. Okay? Now, all the times I've played them, if I took 9, I normally lose because I just haven't got enough objective grabbers, I haven't got enough firepower for other stuff. If I take 3, they get wiped out and I get nothing to do with tanks. Okay? So, the way it is now, I would recommend you stick to 2 units of 3. Okay? Units of 3 are the best bet because if you're lucky enough and one survives around a shooting, you can have a chance to reanimate them. Okay? You could take them in units of 1, but that's easy first blood and no reanimation. Okay? So let's start now. Like I said before, you need to know where these go before you deploy, and they go on the board last. Well, this piece of terrain here is lovely. Okay? You have this over here. You have no line of sight on it, on the board. So if that's my deployment area now, I'll be like, I'm just going to check. Let's say this is on, say, almost in the middle. Move the camera. Right, that's my deployment area. So we go through all the normal things, replace objectives. I would put one here. Okay? I would. You need, if you go ahead and destroy, you need to have an objective to sit on. So you're not wasting more points. Okay, so then you're going to say, okay, you put your army down. And one of the essential parts for heavy destroyers is 10 immortals. They need a babysitting unit or they will die. Okay, you need something there that can deal with like Gene Stealers or Hermagons, something that's got a lot of output but low wounding. If you've got the 6 heavy destroyers in the one building, okay, you can just walk over the board with like say 10 marines, and you won't kill them because you only got 6 shots a turn. And you're taking losses every turn as well, don't forget, okay? So, if you deploy like this, right? Say, you space out in the buildings, like so they can all see, obviously. Right? You've put them there. Your opponent's thinking, oh, well, he's put objective there. He's got a unit of troops on there. He's done that side of the board because where else is he going to put it? Like, it doesn't make any sense otherwise. So your opponent's thinking, no, you're pretty much done. You might put your overlord in there and such. Okay? You set up your rest of your army. He sets up his army. You probably get second turn. If you're lucky to get first turn, great. Okay? But this is where the important part comes in. Because you know roughly where things are going. Okay? You know, hopefully, so you got like a good chance this tank's going to be there. What you need to do is position these in a way, if his tank's on the board, where his tank should be going. You want to position them in a way that they cannot get line of sight on them until one. Alright, you can squeeze them in, like so. Let's just say you can't see the bottom one. Normally you play more bigger terrain pieces, okay? So the whole bottom layer there can't be seen. Unfortunately, you can't keep these out of line of sight, okay? Because my terrain piece isn't big enough. If you're lucky enough to get a piece of terrain that's out of line of sight, chuck them there. But what you do now, you put this one here, and so on, and so on. Okay? There we go. That's how they go on last. You keep the space there for them. As you can see, they have a lot of space. And then, you bring in, must have a crypt deck. Must. You need that 5+. And you get the +1 reanimation, which is also a bonus. You chuck him in. Okay, and then your second HQ choice, depending on what units you take, and you're going to think, well, let's take this guy. Every time I've taken this guy, he has never actually done much. Okay, I don't recommend this guy. If you're playing Apocalypse games, fair enough, chuck him in a unit of 50 odd. But for normal games, he sucks. He just lets you reroll 1s to wounds. And you got 1 in 6 chance of getting a 1. And I would just rather have more points to spend on the army and use a command point to roll that 1 anyway. So after a lot of playtesting, I would recommend you drop the Destroy Lord and take an Overlord. Okay, make sure the Overlord's in range of the Destroyers and the Immortals. And so on. Right, so you can do that. Okay, so your turn 1, say you've shot you might have lost like 2 of these, you might have even lost 3 of these, so just say you've lost 2. Okay, you give your animation a 4+, you get 1 back, you're like, yay! This guy will come back in turn or 2, hopefully. Right, your turn 1. You move these, like so. Watch this now. Because this is unit 2, as long as it's touching the terrain, depending on your house rule, but the way it's written in the rulebook, if you're touching the terrain or on it, you get a cover save. So the base is touching his butt is touching the wall. He's going to move his 5 inches out the way for this guy to fly over there. So everyone can see nice and lovely. Oops. You just reposition them all, right? Rearrange the whole board. Like so. And the guys underneath, the unit of 3, will fly up. I'll just fast forward this really quickly. Right, there. Okay. Oh, the crypt deck, damn it. Yeah, it's one hell of a squeeze in there, okay? We know it is. Right, the reason why you did all the hassle and spent like 20 minutes moving the models around is simply because you want these guys to have My Will Be Done because unit of 3. You want them hitting on 2s and then wounding on whatever they wound on. Okay? That is the only way you can really make these work is Overlord, hitting on 2s. Okay? And if you have the option to shoot at something that's got no invulnerable save, like a big massive tank that's just got his normal armor, awesome. It shouldn't last long. But against things like Minds to the Red, they're really not that good. Okay? You just got to hope for the best with these guys because they're so expensive. So what you do, you shoot at the most dangerous unit you can basically kill with these, the tanks and the high wound models, like Swarm Lords, Carnifexes, whatever. And just hope for the best in the wounding. And don't forget, right, you make sure you keep a command point or 2 in reserves every turn for these guys, for the reroll. Okay, you've got to make sure you get the most out of these. You want to hit with the 2s, you get reroll 1s anyway, so almost guaranteed you should be hitting with all 3 almost every turn. Unless you're me, you get double 1s all the time, but you should be getting 3 hits with My Will Be Done unit, and then you get to wound it, so you wound on a 3, because most things are 3, and then you get the big super strong things, so you get that's a 5. But most things you wound on a 3 with a Heavy Destroyer, which is really good. You get his in-run save, or a 6+ if you can get a cover save, and then you get to do your wounds. I would highly recommend, if you get a 3 or more, don't re-roll it. If you get a 1 or a 2, it might be worth a command point. Especially it's hard to get a wound through. So I would recommend, if you're using the Hair Destroyers, if you get a 3 or more, don't re-roll it. Because a 3 is really good. I think they should just re-damage standard anyway. It'd be just easier. But that's another reason why this guy's not very good. Because in 7th edition, you're wounding on 2s, you're rolling 1s anyway for free. In 8th edition, you're wounding on 3s, you're rolling 1s. It's not that big a deal. It's not. So you got 6, so hopefully if you get 2 in 1, you get 6 Hair Destroyers shooting a tank. And with these, don't split your shooting. If you think he's like one shot, you kill that tank, put 3 into it. Okay? Don't hold back with these. Just focus fire wherever you can. Right? So if you got a tank, there's like 4 wounds left. I'll put those 3 into there and shoot them. So you got 1 wound left. I should put the other 3 into them. Just kill it. Don't split your fire. Don't go, oh, this one's going to go there. This one's going to go there. Now it's going to go there. Don't do that. It's just a waste of time. If you're unlucky, all 3 models will survive and then just blast the crap out of you. I would recommend, with Hair Destroyers, you focus fire your models, you shoot the crap out of stuff and so on. Right, another good reason why you take the Overlord over the Destroyer Lord is, like I said before, you have a bubble wrap unit of immortals. So if everything comes down and deep striking like there or there, so on, you might well be done the immortals instead. So they'll be hitting on 2s instead of 3s. And you can put 20, there should be rapid fire range, you can have 20 shots hitting on 2s. So 5 minus 2 rounds, which is much more dangerous than 3 Hair Destroyers shooting them. So he is there because not only is he can buff them, he can buff them also. Okay? And I've given a war swipe just for a last ditch effort of like, no! Okay? In all my games, I haven't given them immortals or some sort of shield. They just get wiped out because they get deep strike and then they get charged and I just can't kill them. Even if I even get a runaway and I shoot them like 2-3 destroyers and just can't do enough damage and they just come up and boom. So if you've got a bubble wrap unit, nice unit immortals, you can use warriors if you want, but if you watch my warrior video, you can see the best way to use those. These are immortals, this is immortals' job, is to guard the Hair Destroyers. So they guard the Hair Destroyers, they shoot in wherever comes in, deep striking or where's walking across the board. If you've got like 20 gene skills coming across the board, you've got something to deal with it. And another good way to use Hair Destroyers, just say you've got like 1 left and you're on like turn 6, you're like, oh well, I need that 1 point to win. Say, you know, whatever. He's up there. Tension move. I'm going to assault this guy. Oh, I had a 1. Last command point. Yay, I can move 16 inches. Just fly across the board. Bang! Obviously that's not 3 it's 6 inches away. It's also good to run. It's also good for objective grab, is what I'm saying. Use them to run away. Because they'll fly. They can run away and shoot, but it's not. You don't want them in combat, right? Don't get anywhere near epic combat with these. And if you're losing the game really badly and you just need points, don't be afraid to move them. Let's say your opponent now. Let's say he has 2 tanks, and by some miraculous reason, right, you manage to kill 2 tanks, and you still got 1 unit of 1 left. You got a unit of 3 left. Now is the time to split them up. Okay, because for the points now, they've done their job, they've killed the nasty stuff. They're quite useless just to shoot like 1 model. And kill a marine. Yeah, I wounded you, and I had a 1 to wound. I was like, did everyone use a command point to kill a marine? No, not really. That's Primaris Marine, you know what I mean? They're all marines now. Okay, so after you kill the nasty stuff, I would highly recommend now, you bring them out the little hidey holes, and I would use that 10-ish movement, and I would start going for objectives. And not only that, right, if you bring these out of the hidey hole, the little cover saves, little wussy little camping spot, your opponent will be raging. He will want to smash these up. He wants to grab them like that. So you're like, he's got this there, put him there. You can guarantee, right, he'll put half his army into that 1 model, just because he's that annoyed at you. So they're also really good as bait. Because if you've killed this big unit, he wants these dead. You'll want to smash him to bits. So you just bring him out, it's like, bang, and you can advance them. Don't forget, see, if they've got multi-wound models, I'd rather get the extra advance on them instead of shooting and go for objectives. And if you're lucky enough, and you don't have enough terrain yet, but if you can like daisy chain them, like to terrain, they have a 2-up save. And that's another reason on turn 1, you keep them in reserve, you keep them in terrain. Never, ever have these out of terrain until the big stuff's dead, if you can kill it. After the big stuff's dead, it doesn't matter if they die, they've done the job. It's time to cut them loose because they're so point heavy. Don't just let your opponent go from someone into up terrain, let them shoot them, and spend the rest of your army going for the points and wiping out the rest. Once they serve their purpose, they're basically useless unless you go for objectives. So use the advanced move if you've killed all the heavy weapons. Go for the terrain and just sit there like, oh, I got two up cover safe. Oh, you're not going to shoot him now and kill him, you know. Leave him to it. And by some miracle, like, he survives and reanimates his two friends. It's like, that's what you want. Okay, because toughness 5 with 2 up save is quite annoying. But on turn 1, the Cryptek will give him a 5+ invuln because we'll be hit by all the heavy weapons if we don't get any line of sight blockers on them. And watch out for deep striking units. That's what the Immortals are for. So that's basically how I got them to work. I've used the Heavy Destroyers a lot. Okay, I love Heavy Destroyers, and it's so hard to find an effective strategy to actually use them and win most of my games. But like I said, you need to make sure you use them effectively. Once they've done their job, they're sacrificial. Okay? Let's just say you kill like all these tanks, you got Robert Gurleyman left. This one game, I managed to make a little gap, and I moved all my Heavy Destroyers and shot them. I managed to get them as the closest. They 1 wound. It's like, really? You know, it's insane. So, if you've got stuff like that on the board, the 3 up invuln, and there's anything left, just ignore them. Just fly around and get points. Don't bother. So, their power is obviously anti-tank, but it's that 10-inch movement as well. Oh, and if you think the Destroy Lord is good, okay, I recommend you try him out, just so you see how bad he actually is for the points. Because I've tried so many times to make him work. I've had units of 9 Heavy Destroyers, and it's just 2 point heavy. It really is. He might be worth taking in the unit of Destroyers, I would imagine. Yeah, you might be worth taking the unit of Destroyers because you wouldn't do most things on a 5, so that reroll might be handy, I suppose. But for the points, I don't think he's worth it. I can't get him to work properly. I really can't. If you had a 36-inch gun as well, then yeah, it would, like. You know, but for winning, 6 Heavy Destroyers for a 2,000 point list is the sweet spot. No more, no less, because you only have damage output. And it's very essential that you get them out of line of sight. And if you haven't got line of sight blockers in your game, get them in cover. You gotta get that 2 up serve. Okay, if you wait to fire, they attract all the fire on the board. So anything that can shoot will be shooting at these. And if you haven't got any AP, the 2 up serve is a lot better than a 3 up serve, as you know. And you've got the fire up invuln as a backup. The most important part is the 4 up reanimation, because you guarantee you'll be using them. Normally, quite a lot of my games, I just lose a unit of 3 and I lose like 1 or 2 if I don't get line of sight blockers. So sometimes I'm left with 1 on my turn 1. And I'm lucky enough to still win, like, it's quite cool. But I win by doing that. I send them off to die once they've done the job. I really don't care if they die, because once you kill the tanks, they're basically worthless. You get -4, but you can kill six models a turn. You know, and if that model's worth like, say 13 points each, it's not a big deal. You still got a hit and wound, it's just not worth the points. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again in the next video.